Millions of people swallow a tiny, golden gel capsule every morning, assuming taking a daily vitamin D supplement guarantees their body has what it needs. But for over 20% of the US population, that capsule dissolves, releases its contents, and fails to raise their blood levels at all. The confusion starts with the dosage label. Standard guidelines recommend 600 international units a day. Meanwhile, functional medicine practitioners often tell their patients to take 5 to 10,000 units daily. That is a massive mathematical gap. The lower recommendation of 600 units wasn't calculated to optimize human lifespan. It was established historically as the bare minimum required to prevent severe bone deformities in developing children. 600 units keeps your bones from weakening, but it does not account for vitamin D's role as a systemic hormone. Every cell in your body has a receptor for it.
At 600 units, your immune, cardiovascular, and metabolic systems are left starved of the raw material they need to operate. When we treat vitamin D as a generic, one-size-fits-all daily multivitamin, we ignore the biological reality of how it actually works. Millions of adults follow the instructions on the bottle and remain clinically deficient. Frustrated by low lab results, many patients swing to the opposite extreme. They buy high-potency bottles and begin swallowing 10,000 or even 50,000 units at a time, assuming more input automatically equals more health. But human digestion is not a simple math equation. The amount of a supplement you swallow does not equal the amount of active hormone that eventually circulates in your bloodstream. This chart shows intake versus absorption. As pills swallowed increases on the x-axis, usable blood vitamin D on the y-axis doesn't keep up. The lines diverge because bottlenecks block massive doses. Pushing high doses risks hypercalcemia, toxic calcium levels causing nausea and kidney stones. Without identifying your specific physical barriers, you are stuck guessing. You either waste money on low doses that never reach your tissues, or you risk toxicity by flooding your system with high doses your body can't process. The first barrier is the molecule itself. When you stand in the supplement aisle, you have to choose between 3 distinct chemical structures, each with entirely different activation timelines. Vitamin D2, or ergocalciferol, is synthesized by plants and fungi when exposed to sunlight. Ergocalciferol is a form of vitamin D derived from non-animal sources. It is inexpensive to produce and frequently used to fortify foods like orange juice and cereal. However, human biology struggles to absorb it, resulting in very low biological activity in your blood. Vitamin D3, or cholecalciferol, is the exact molecule your skin creates when hit by ultraviolet B rays from the sun. Cholecalciferol is the natural animal-sourced form of vitamin D. Because it matches our own biology, the human body absorbs it far more efficiently than D2. To manufacture it at scale, standard D3 supplements are heavily reliant on animal byproducts. The vast majority of commercially available D3 is extracted from lanolin. Lanolin is a natural wax secreted by the sebaceous glands of sheep, which is harvested directly from their wool. But even D3 has a biological drawback. When you swallow it, it is physiological. Calcifediol. Calcifediol is a pre-activated molecule that has already undergone the liver's conversion process. When you take it, it bypasses liver processing entirely and is absorbed directly into your bloodstream, raising your levels in hours rather than months. If you select the wrong molecular structure for your timeline, you face a direct trade-off. You are either buying a cheaper supplement and accepting a delay of several months, or paying a premium to guarantee immediate absorption. Once you swallow the right molecule, it still has to navigate your internal anatomy. Your physical body composition can trap the nutrient before it reaches your circulation. This flowchart tracks a single 5,000-unit capsule. It enters the gut, where poor digestion can prevent initial absorption. Then it moves to the liver, which may underperform in processing it. Finally, it navigates your body's fat stores. By the time it exits this funnel, the active amount left over for your immune system is a fraction of what you swallowed. Because vitamin D is fat-soluble, it binds to lipid tissue. If a patient has a high body mass index or suffers from obesity, their excess adipose tissue actively sequesters the nutrient. Adipose tissue is the anatomical term for loose connective tissue composed of fat cells. This tissue holds the hormone hostage, preventing it from circulating in the blood where it is needed. That problem compounds if the patient has high insulin levels. Insulin resistance quickly shoves that circulating vitamin D directly into the fat cells. Even if you manage to absorb it through your gut, high insulin prevents your body from properly utilizing the hormone. A person's body mass index and metabolic health directly dictate their required dosage. Because an obese or insulin-resistant patient absorbs significantly less than a lean patient, the generic instructions printed on the back of a supplement bottle are mathematically useless. Even if you successfully bypass the fat cells and flood your bloodstream with high levels of vitamin D3, you encounter a new metabolic problem. Vitamin D cannot operate in isolation. It requires specific biological partners to function, starting with magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that acts as the metabolic spark plug required to activate and regulate vitamin D within your cells. Taking large doses of vitamin D rapidly consumes your body's existing magnesium stores. If you don't actively replenish it, the resulting magnesium deficiency can cause severe fatigue, muscle cramps, and actually block any further absorption of the vitamin D you're taking. The second mandatory partner is vitamin K2. While vitamin D's job is to pull calcium from your food into your blood, K2 acts as the biological traffic cop. It directs that circulating calcium out of your bloodstream and safely deposits it into your bones. If you have high vitamin D levels, you will absorb more calcium, but without K2 to direct it, that calcium builds up in the wrong places. It deposits inside your soft tissues and hardens along the flexible walls of your arteries, leading to arterial calcification. Taking high doses of vitamin D without magnesium and K2 is like pressing the accelerator of a car with no steering wheel. It creates powerful biological momentum, but directs that momentum straight into a wall. To supplement safely, abandon generic advice and match a specific dosage protocol to your biological reality. This decision tree navigates your choices. The primary divide is whether you've taken a blood test. If unchecked, healthy, and getting average sun, you follow Branch 1, the safe maintainer. This protocol uses 1 to 2,000 units of vitamin D3 daily. This profile accepts a specific trade-off. You sacrifice the ability to rapidly cure an unknown deficiency, but in exchange, you get cheap, safe, long-term support for your baseline health without risking toxicity. If testing confirms you're deficient, below 30 nanograms, you shift to Profile 2, the rapid corrector. This 8-week intervention requires high-dose D3, magnesium, K2, and a mandatory follow-up test. Finally, athletes use Profile 3, the biological optimizer. Targeting 50 to 80 nanograms, this maximizes immune response and muscle recovery. Reaching maximum biological efficiency requires maximum logistical commitment. You have to pay out of pocket for quarterly blood tests and precisely track your daily intake of D3, magnesium, and K2 to keep levels balanced. True health optimization is never a blind guess. It requires testing your blood and understanding your metabolic bottlenecks and matching the correct molecular tool to a continuously verified biological baseline.